Internet friends. This is a live stream that Vox Day did today, and it talks about the Mexican Reconquista. I'll put the link in the description below.
And think about this. The original Reconquista, which was the Christian Europeans taking Spain back from the Muslim invaders, it took them 770 years from the time that Spain was conquered to the time that the last Muslims were expelled after Granada was conquered. Granada was the last Muslim holdout in Spain. And so when you look at this, you see that it is always a mistake to assume that the story is over. The story always continues. Or as we say in Gamergate, the ride never ends. And so the story doesn't finish, the story doesn't end. I'm not saying that because the Northern Europeans, at least the English, were the slaves, and of course the Slavs were the slaves. That's where the word slave comes from. So many people were enslaved by the Muslims in Armenia, the Balkans, and so forth. That's where the word came from. Far more Europeans were enslaved than blacks, throughout history. And so, am I saying that we're all going to become slaves? No, of course not. But I am saying that we are not necessarily going to be on top. We're not necessarily going to be the masters that we tend to unconsciously assume ourselves to be. And the problem that the USA has had for decades, for probably over 100 years, is that Americans never fought wars on their own territory. And so they don't have any understanding of the importance of defense. The USA is all offense, no defense. And it has been invaded by its soft underbelly. Jay says, I don't want us to be masters or slaves. I just want us to be left alone. First of all, it's too late for that. Secondly, how hypocritical can you possibly be? The United States has not left anyone alone since 1812. The history of the United States is constant aggression all over the world, beginning with Mexico. In fact, there was an old saying back in the late 19th century. I believe it was around the time that Teddy Roosevelt was president. And they said, it wasn't him, but it was said of Mexico, poor Mexico, so far from God, so close to the United States of America. And so, for the citizens of the USA to think that they're going to be left alone when they currently have military occupation of something like 80 different countries around the world, they've got no case for it. And the problem with the universalist ideals of the USA in general and the liberals, the liberalism and neoliberalism, the problem with those universalist ideals is that there is no rationale for claiming that anyone else doesn't belong here. In fact, this has been pointed out by a number of foreigners, including Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi actually pointed out that America belongs to the world and Americans have no more right to the land of the United States than anyone else in the world. And so